The reason I kind of decided to post a few stories on YouTube was an idea of mine would be to turn them into book form. And if it made any money, give the money to Lee Rigby's son. Not from me, from London cab drivers. And one thing that we do is, I told you in a previous post, we like to work on Remembrance Sunday, and we don't charge service personnel, past or present, family and friends. And after the service, we drop them where they want to go to as well, for nothing. And this is all arranged by a chap called Mike Hughes, who hopefully will one day get one of those Pride of Britain awards, because it probably wears him out arranging the days. It's a passion of his. I've also thought about what a coconut cabbie says. He done a rundown of things that drive him nuts in the cab, and just to add to his list, another one would be when loads of people get in and they start stamping on the floor. What for? So, the first story today is two rugby giants, and I mean giants as well. I stopped for Lawrence Dallaglio and Steve Thompson. Now, if you know your rugby, lovely. If you don't, Tomo was the hooker in the World Cup final win over Australia. And yes, sadly, I did get two autographs. And so I personally think that there's not a lot of suspension in a black cab, and when the two of them got in, I felt the cab drop down a little bit. These are two big lads, and it was like an eclipse of the back window. And halfway there, I think it was Dallaglio said, "All right, we get it, babe." Yeah, all right then. Do you want one? No, not for me, mate. So, when we got to Richmond, was where I dropped them, and Lawrence has come to the window to pay, and I looked in the back and I went to him, "Look at the back of the cab, it's like a greengrocer's." And he went, "Well, you can clear it up, can't you?" And he was he was correct, I could. So, very enjoyable cab ride. Next, I would like to, me and my really good mate in the cab trade, my best mate in the whole world, is Brett Desmond. And we went through a phase of when we'd phone each other and tell each other when we had someone famous in the cab. And he phoned me to say he's just dropped Carol Vorderman off, who made the cab smell very nice. And I said to him, "That's strange. I've got a friend, Jane McDonald, in the cab. She heard me say her name, and she said to me, 'Oh, I've just left Carol.'" So me and my mate have picked her and her mate up, which I found quite amusing. And last of all, they say, there's a famous saying, never meet your heroes. I broke that rule many times now, and the start of the football season of 2018, a week before the season, I'm dying of boredom. My missus is out with her children, and I phoned her and said, "Look, I'm dying of boredom. I'm going to go to work." So first job, I dropped off at the Shard, and there was no one sitting on the rink. So I sat there, and along come a bloke carrying orchids. he got in, and I looked in the mirror, and this was me. I went, "No! Frank Spencer!" And he went, "Driver," he said, "I enjoy being recognised." He said, "What it means is I've done my job properly, I've made you laugh, and I'm going to be remembered for the right reasons." And I know what he's getting at. So I'm enjoying my cab ride. It's a long journey. And he said to me, "So what was your favourite episode of some mothers do have them. And I said to him, I don't mean to be rude, but that's the daftest question I've ever been asked. Everybody likes the roller skates. He said, well, I knew you'd say that. He said, was there any scenes that you remember that made you laugh? And I said, well, I can remember you being in an Australia house and you was annoying the bloke, getting things wrong and breaking things, and he snapped, why do you want to immigrate to Australia, Mr. Spencer? And in the back of the cab, he went, well, it's near the sea. And he kept on doing Frank Spencer impressions. I nearly crashed the cab. And a hero of mine, a great cab rider, and thank you, Micheal. And last one of all was from a chap called Dave Pearce. And I've titled this A Tour of London. So two tourists have gone to his cab and in broken English have said, Tour London, Tour London. So he said, I'm sure I've mentioned Dave Pearce. So Pearce, he said he's taken them to Tower of London, Tower Bridge, all the museums. What else did he do? Anything kind of interesting to tourists, and all of a sudden a tour bus drove by, and one of them went, no, tour bus. So they didn't want Piercy to take them on a tour of London. No, they wanted the tour bus to do it. So he's overtook the tour bus, and they've laughed and paid their fare as well. So it was a good story. See ya.